On October 27th, 2012, I visited an electronic music festival called E-Live in Oorschot in Holland. And there I met this man.
Hello, I am Dominique Perrier and you're watching Live Prog.
Mr. Dominique Perrier came to the festival to promote his new album. This one, Space Art Tribute. Go back in history some 35 years, then we find ourselves in the year 1977. In that year, Dominique with his musical partner Roger Risitelli, who is a drummer, released their first album called Space Art. On that album was the track called Onyx. Now, really look up that track on YouTube, you will absolutely love it. It's a very beautiful song. Now, they were quite successful in those days because they sold 3 million copies of their albums. Now, they made 2 other albums, but after 1981, well, it sort of ended. Dominique Perrier moved on, formed other band, played with other musicians. One of the bands he formed was Stone Age. Of course, can't leave that out. He worked very extensively with Jean-Michel Jarre, both on stage and on album. But in recent years, well, he turned back to space art. And well, there's a sad side note on that, because in 2010 his former musical partner Roger Risitelli passed away. And that might explain the tribute part in the title. When he revisited this album, it doesn't mean that he went back and played the old songs again. This is fresh material, brand new material. I gotta say, at the same time, the original, the first Space Art album is also being re-released, remastered and everything. So, you know, it's available again, and I really suggest check it out if you like this kind of music. But here we are, and we have Space Art. Now, I absolutely love the cover. I love this space guy, you know. It is also, when you open up the CD, you know, it's minimalistic, but I really like it. Now, if you like this one, how about the big one? Because yes, it is also released on vinyl, 180 grams of vinyl, and it's really stunning when you look at it. Look at it. Really beautiful, and again, that nice picture. If you are like me, and you're, well, kind of interested in vinyl, I would definitely say check it out. Check it out, because this is a limited run, so you know, you gotta be quick to get one. On a personal note, I like this touch quite a bit, so it's going to be very valuable. Of course, it's also on CD. The track listing from the LP and the CD are identical. 14 tracks. So if you look at the vinyl, it's 7 on each side. A total of about 47 minutes of music. Now, a lot of tracks and not as much music, so well, you do the math and you come up with short tracks. Now, I would almost say that is, in my current experience, and I am admitting I'm relatively new to electronic music, but I say that's well, a bit of a standout, because normally the tracks are quite long and, you know, a lot of things, but very short tracks. Now, when I was looking at the tracks, listening to the album, and thinking of, you know, how am I going to bring that in my review, for some reason I had to think of Forrest Gump, because he said life is like a box of chocolates. Well, I would say Space Art is like a box of chocolates. You have 14 different tracks, 14 different chocolates, each with their own, well, unique flavor. And there's a lot to say about it, and I can't mention all the tracks, of course, but the general mood of the album, which is, I think, very important to know, is very uplifting. It's very happy. It's really happy music. At the end of the day, this album brings a smile on your face. Now, for me, that's important, you know. I'd like to know what the mood of the album is, because the technical part aside, you buy an album to listen to enjoy. Well, you can't go wrong with Space Art, because it's really beautiful. Next to the uplifting sound, the uplifting mood of the album, I also found there's a lot of humor in the music, a lot of humor in the compositions, which is very nice. And listen to a track like Cosmic Chicken, and you know, if you don't get a smile on your face when you listen to that, wow, then something's really wrong and you should see a doctor. But you know, it's a really funny song. And the nice part is, at the eLive Festival, Dominique with Space Art performed. They did a half-hour set, and they played several songs from this album, which was a delight to see. And you see the joy on the faces of the musicians. So you know, they really like what they're doing. And mind you, that Dominique Perrier has an experience in music of 35 years. You know, from making music, making albums, and that is something that you really hear on this album. What I also noticed, and everybody knows, he's been working with Jean-Michel Jarre for many years, but yes, maybe there are hints of Jarre in this album, but apart from that, it sounds completely different. It's really unique music. It's really Space Art music. You know, that's very important. That is the identity of the album. I didn't hear really any other influences in it. When we talk about the fun and the humor in the music, another track that I really enjoyed also was Droid Obsession. There's some vocoder work in it, which I always like when they do that, because it adds, you know, something, you know, it breaks the tension a little bit and well, makes it a nice track. A few other additions that make this album very special are the musicians involved in it, because it is not just electronic music, it also has some other elements in it. For example, it has drums in it. Well, on one track, the other tracks are programmed. It has some guitar in it. There's a guest performance here by Patrick Rondat, also a familiar name. There's a bass player, Michel Valli, from the Stone Age band that Dominique used to be in. But there's also violin. Lily Lacombe plays the violin on several tracks, which also add this different kind of atmosphere to the songs and makes it again, you know, really stand out in the midst of other music that you hear.
Northern lights, rainbow hues, optical illusion.
And last but not least, there are vocals on this album. Really beautiful vocals. The vocalist here is Jeannette Woolacott. She sings on two tracks. The first being Another Destination, and the second one being Eternally Revolving Part 2. And I gotta say, it's really beautiful to hear her vocals on the music of Dominique Perrier. It's really beautiful done. Looking at the tracks, there's a lot to be said about them. There's a lot of beautiful songs in it. Stone Art is very nice. There we have this nice violin edition. That's the longest track on the album. It's almost 6 minutes. So, well, the other tracks are all around 3 minutes altogether, of all of them. What can I say? I mean, we're talking about, well, I'd almost say a legend, you know, a fantastic musician, creating really beautiful music on this album. And what I very much like is this is not a one-off project. This is not something, you know, you do a tribute, well, maybe because his former partner passed away. But no, this is the beginning of a new space art, because I had an interview with Dominique Perrier, which was very nice, and he told me that the band is rehearsing and they're going to do more tours, they're going to perform more live. Well, let's hope that they will also be inspired to bring more music, because I gotta say, this taste of space art was very good and I really hope to get more of it. So I really recommend this album, Space Art Tribute to the Dominique Perrier Project. Really check it out, listen to it, but most of all, buy this album.